everyone. So today I'm going to be talking about some of my beauty and skincare favorites for the winter months. I haven't done a favorites video in quite a while, so I think it's been since like November maybe. So these are the products that have really gotten me through the winter. I do live in Canada, so we get some pretty cold weather, some pretty violent snowstorms and all that. So the products I'm going to be talking about have gotten me through, and some of them are just really good in the winter in general, and some of them are just kind of my everyday products that I've been using, but some of them, like I said, are winter specific. So if you guys want to see the makeup and skincare products that I'm going to be talking about, then just keep watching. So starting off, this is a relatively new foundation that I have. This is the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Freshwear Foundation. It looks like this, and I am in the shade 410. This isn't a perfect shade match for me. It is a little bit too pink tone for my skin, but I've been, you know, wearing turtlenecks and covering up my my chest area enough that you can't really tell that it's not the right shade. But this foundation is really good, especially for the drugstore. This lasts all day, and one thing that I love about this is it actually sets itself down. On my dry skin anyways, it sets itself down, so I don't actually need to powder with this, which I really like, especially in the wintertime, because the powders can just cake up and look very dry. They can stick to dry flakes and all that. So yeah, so I've been wearing this pretty consistently. I actually don't have a whole lot of this left, and this foundation, I was just over the moon shocked at how great this is. It really battles a lot of my high-end foundations. It's really good. So if you guys haven't tried this yet and you do have dry skin, I totally suggest it. It's really great, and the coverage, it's about a medium buildable coverage, and I like to apply with a beauty sponge. I apply almost every foundation with a beauty sponge. It's kind of my favorite method, but yeah, this foundation is really good, and I love it. Another foundation that I have, this is the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Foundation. I've gone through a couple of bottles of this since it was released I think it was last fall or the fall before. Anyways, this foundation, I do find this year has been a little bit drier than it looked last year. Maybe it's just my skin or whatever, I'm not sure. But I have been using this to mix in with the L'Oreal, and these two together, I do about half and half. They last on my skin all day. I don't need to set it, and I get the most flawless looking complexion. So I've been really liking these. This Fenty Beauty, if you have dry skin but you want like a more matte finish, I find that this really does work without clinging to dry patches and whatnot. And I think overall this is probably my most used foundation that I have in my collection. If I don't just put this all over my face, I will use it as a mixer to prolong the wear of other foundations, and I just find that it works really good like that. So these two foundations are amazing. And I have one more foundation that is really good as well. This is another one that you do not have to set down. This is the Beauty Blender Bounce Liquid Whip Longwear Foundation. I am in the shade 1.4. This foundation is amazing. It's probably one of my top favorite foundations. I went through this super quickly. I don't know if you can see, but there's scrape marks. I actually had to break off this. There was clips holding it in. I had to break that off to untwist it, and I've actually been scooping product out of this to try and use up the rest, because there's quite a bit in there that stopped pumping out. But this foundation, I love it. I love the finish of it. It's satin, kind of a little bit glowy, but I really love it. Like I said, it sets down itself. You can blend your powders on top of it, and it lasts all day. Love this foundation. Next thing I have, this is just a primer that I've been using. This is the NYX Honey Do Me Up primer. As you can see, I'm about halfway through that. Anyway, this is a really good primer if you do have dry skin and you want to add a little bit of glow and moisture to your skin. I also find that I do get longer wear if I have this underneath my foundation. So this one is really nice. It's I want to say it's about $20 at the drugstore. That's Canadian price, but so it's a little bit more of a high-end drugstore primer, but I really do like this, and I would definitely suggest it if you have dry skin. Alright, so the next thing I have here is the Fenty Beauty Gloss Balm. The one I have is the shade Fenty Glow. This is a really, really good lip gloss. I'm not much for liquid lipsticks or anything like that. I do prefer something that wears off a little bit quicker because I don't like that dry feeling on my lips. So I have been using this. I also have the other shade. I think it's Fussy. It's kind of like the more pink shade. I have that in my purse right now. I've just been using this over and over and over again, and just kind of picking this over using a lipstick or anything like that. So if you like lip glosses, I definitely suggest this one. It's really, really nice. It's got a nice glitter in it, and it smells delicious. Very moisturizing. Love it. The next favorite that I have here is the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray. I was actually late to the game with this stuff. I had never tried it before until I think it was last summer. I had gotten a small bottle of it from Sephora. I think it was a Point Perk, and I tried it out, but I was kind of on the fence about it. I was like, whatever, it's just a setting spray. But I wasn't using it properly, and I think what it was the bottle was so little that I didn't want to use it all up very quickly, so I was just doing a couple of spritzes and whatever, and I didn't find it to make a difference in my makeup at all. But I picked up this is the jumbo size. I wish that they still had this, but it was limited edition for holidays. I picked this up before Christmas, and I usually use, I'm gonna say like 10 to 15 sprays of this. Now, I don't know if that's overkill or not, but when I use that much on my face, it really just melts my makeup together. It makes everything look so nice, and it lasts all day. Like, my makeup does not budge. So I'm definitely going to be repurchasing this once it's gone, but this has definitely been a holy grail for me this year, this winter, and this bottle has lasted me a really long time, so that's also a plus. Like I said, I wish they still had the jumbo size available, but they don't. The next thing, these are not really winter specific. They're just kind of two palettes that I've been using. One is the Sultry palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills. I'm sure you guys have all seen this. Basically, it's kind of the neutral cool tone palette that they have. I've been using this for everyday looks. It really is a nice neutral palette, and I love it, and I wish it was a permanent part of their collection, because I can see myself going through some of these shimmers pretty quickly. But anyway, that's that. And the next palette that I have here is the Too Faced Chocolate Gold palette. Looks like this. I've actually had this for probably about a year now, and I didn't really dip into it too much, but recently I started dipping into this again for some neutral looks with a really nice pop of shimmer, and I have been loving this. I've just been constantly picking it up and using this over other palettes that I have in my collection, and I find these shimmers are so nice, and you can actually mix and match them. Like, you can put one shade on the bottom and then like layer on another color on top, and it just is very versatile, and I like it. And it's only got the 4 mattes, but they really, really work well together. And I actually have this palette on my eyes today. So yeah, I've been loving this. These two palettes, really, I've just been loving. I've definitely been more into more of a neutral, natural / smoky eye this winter, as opposed to doing really bold eyes. So if you're looking for good palettes, these two are definitely really good quality and definitely worth the price in my opinion. The next thing, these I've been using together. This is the Born This Way Multi Sculpting Concealer from Too Faced, and I also have the Tarte Shape Tape. These two mixed together, I put like a dot under my eyes of each, and I've been mixing them together with my sponge. These are really good under the eyes if you have dry under eyes like me and you don't want to use a powder. For me, I find if I set my under eyes, they look crepey. You can just really see the exaggerated fine lines that I have. So if I don't have to set, I find that it just looks so much better. So these two together, I've been using pretty much all winter, and it's been a really good combination for me because I do have like natural fine lines under my eyes, and I'm not someone who can bake. Like for me, under my eyes, less is more. The next thing that I have here, this is the Covergirl Lid Lock Up. This is an eye primer, and it is really good. If you're looking for an eye primer to kind of like give you that flat base and cover up like lines and discoloration and veins and whatnot in your eyes, this won't do it. But what this does is this keeps your eyeshadow on all day. I have extremely hooded eyes, and if I put this on and I let it sit down for, I'd say about 2 minutes before I go in and blend eyeshadow, my eyeshadow stays on all day. It does not crease, and it is amazing. I've never ever had an eyeshadow primer do that, and that's why I love this. This is a favorite. I'm going to continue using this, I think, probably forever because it's so affordable and it just works so well. One tip I can give you guys on this is don't put it on your eyes and directly go in and start blending, because it won't blend out nicely. It'll be very patchy because it's very tacky at first, and it needs to dry down for, like I said, maybe 2 minutes or so. And then you can really go in and start blending. So this stuff it's amazing. And the last thing that I have here for makeup is this is the Covergirl Vitalist Healthy Powder. This, I actually think I reviewed it on my channel before. I didn't like this powder at all. It is very dark for me. This is the lightest shade. This is 710 Classic Ivory, and I'll actually swatch it. I don't know if you'll be able to see that or not, if it'll pick up. But this is actually too dark for my skin. But what I have been doing is I've been going very lightly into this powder with a brush and just kind of patting it on a little bit at a time, just to set down my foundations that don't set themselves, just to set them down a little bit so that I can blend powders onto it, and I've been liking it for that. It's not like a mattifying powder like most. I find that with the light layer, your glow still comes through, so that's what I've been liking about it. But yeah, other than that, I don't use this for anything else, and I don't use it every day. The only time I use it is, like I said, when I have a foundation that doesn't set down itself, and I just use the very tiniest little bit of it. Alright, so the last products that I have here are skincare. There's only 4 products I have to talk about. The first one is the Origins Drink Up Intensive Overnight Mask. It says it quenches skin's thirst, and I've been using this probably every other night on my face before going to bed, and my skin has really been doing well. Every winter I always get dry patches here and here, even on my chin. My whole body gets dry patches really, but this has really helped the skin on my face to not get dry. I've only had a couple of instances where my skin has had a little bit of flaking going on, and I really think that this has just done so much good for my skin. So I definitely recommend this. It's very good. Next thing that I have is the L'Oreal Pure Sugar Scrub. I think I've talked about this before on my channel as well. This is the only exfoliator that I use. It smells really good. It smells like kiwis. It's got the sugar granules in there, and basically I use this maybe twice a week when I start seeing like flakiness on my skin, and I'll just scrub it on there, wipe it off, and it helps to get rid of those flaky patches and just gives your skin a more smooth look. And I have this is the Physicians Formula Perfect Matcha 3-in-1 Cleansing Balm. I've actually gone through 2 of these. Well, this is the second one, sorry. I've gone through 1 of these, and this is actually the second one. And you can see I've actually hit the bottom of the pan there. This stuff is really, really nice if you have dry skin. I use a little bit at the end of the night, and I just kind of wipe it all over my face. I even use it on my eyes, and it gets rid of all my makeup in a very moisturizing way. So you know how like if you use like a cleansing towel, your skin just feels dry and tight afterwards? You can use this to remove your makeup and it won't feel dry or tight or anything, and that's what I love about this. Like I said, second one I've picked up. I'm gonna continue using this because it just works so well to remove your makeup, so I really like this. And the last thing is the Laneige Lip Sleeping Mask. This is something I use every night before bed on my lips. As you can see, I still have quite a bit in there. I've had this for probably 9 or 10 months now, and I'm not even close to hitting the bottom of it. I only use it at night, and it just helps to keep your lips very moisturized, keep the dry skin off there, and I really like that. Alright, so that is the end of my winter favorites. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, maybe learned something, or you know, see products that you guys want to try too. Hopefully, like I said, you enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.